spread out and explore the space. Remember, those of you with cameras, parked cars everywhere, and we are not going to go near any of these parked cars. Most of them belong to employees down here, and they like to take naps, so we don't want to be filming them while they're taking naps on their break. Wow, welcome to Saturday nights, everybody. Scaring my ghosts away. So I will be honest, this location is part of the reason why I wanted to start a new route to get away from it. We were starting to get some very unwelcoming messages, and last night was the first night I was back here in about 2.5 weeks. So again, last night went okay, but it was very quick. So because we were getting some good things, and I called it before it started to get nasty for us. So just putting that out there. So where the heck are we? We're in a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. I always like to give you the layout of where we're at and why we're doing the location that we are. So keep in mind, for all of you communication device people, I am not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the Big Red Barn. I'm going to withhold information. This is stop number 1. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses. You guys see why we look for secondary clues now? Yeah, we need to know which Chuck we're talking to. So, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here. I guarantee it. So we're going to move on. If I don't bring it up, it usually comes up as a nasty message like, you forgot about us kind of mentality. So, let's talk about Eliza. She's way cooler anyway. She has a much better story. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards, not the colonial times that she came from. If you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, you're not going to get numbers like 12 and 14. Just kind of keep that in the back of your brain. The reason I bring this up is because her husband was over double her age.
Oh, wow.
Kind of a creepy age gap in the colonial times, definitely a creepy age gap now. I'm just going to put that out there too. Now, she married him because her father was over in England, where they're from, where she's from anyway, and he thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he can see them. She didn't believe he was dying, so instead, she stayed put, she got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in 1744 for a green card. We're not even a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. There was no foul play. Don't ask about affairs and poke the bear. Very prominent English woman. Keep that in mind. Now, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to this space where we're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. I can guarantee it. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. A lot of you have it on tonight. That's how we use it now. She didn't know what to do with them when she got them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not warm here all the time. You need warm temperatures for that to keep going. Once she was done experimenting with it here, she moved it to a cash crop, called her father, not really called him because it's the 1700s, and she says, rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Wow. This is huge. Not many tours even talk about this woman. So, that's the business, boring stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here, right? So, I'm going to go through kind of a series of questions with each spirit box just to give you a focal point. In the event you're not getting answers based on your focus questions, by all means, cherry pick from whatever I gave somebody else. I'm okay with it. I just like to separate it so that way we're not all asking Eliza the same questions. These are common things that we get the answers to. So, I'm just going to go left to right if everybody's cool with that. Emily, yours, I'm going to have you focus on the children. So I want you to ask how many children she had and what their names were. And that is all. The reason I'm asking her that's it is because there's a tragedy there. Don't poke the bear. Again, she will not talk and all activity will stop. Have you gotten any numbers on there?
Just 0.1.
0.1. Yeah, that's garbage. So, like how I just throw that out there? It's nothing.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so kids and the names. Got it? All right. Why am I keep forgetting your name? Lizzie. Yes. All right, so which spirit box do you have? All right, so you're going to go after Eliza's death. How old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Got all those? All right, perfect. You're going to be hopefully getting Eliza's initials. We've actually seen Eliza's name show up with an extra letter, and it was scrambled. So it looked like E-U-L-Z-I-A. So it looked like Yulzia, and we had all of the letters with an added U mixed into it.
Her initials? Okay.
So, but I'm going to make it simple. Let's go after E-P, E-L-P. Okay. So either one of those will work. You're going to have to stay behind so I can work with you more. Your spirit box, I want you going after, and these questions are actually going to go work because your guys' spirit boxes work identically the same. The mansion's not here anymore. What happened to it? When did that happen? So again, we're looking for a very specific date. Notice none of the questions I gave you are yes/no answers. So again, if you're going to go rogue and ask your own questions, be respectful. No yes, no questions. Let's keep those out of the mix, right? With yours, this one's going to be fun. So there's a little bit extra about Eliza that I didn't tell yet. So Eliza that we just spoke about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. So he had 2 wives named Eliza the same year.
Wow.
The first wife died in January. He marries the one we just talked about in May of the same year, 5 months later. Both Elizas have a maiden name that started with the letter L. Which Eliza are we dealing with? So if you're not getting an answer, of the maiden name, maybe cherry pick off of, maybe we're getting answers from what happened to the mansion, the kids' names, anything along those lines. Again, but...
So I don't need to say anything, I'm just looking at the words.
Right.
Okay.
So, again, when I'm saying ask these questions, you can focus on them, you can say them out loud, whatever you're comfortable with. Some people are weird, we're trying to talk to people that they can't see. So again, it's just one of those things. So I am going to... Jason, right? No.
Nope. You got 2 more tries. Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
You're Jason.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I know you're Connor.
Yes, sir.
Got that one down. All right. Sean.
Yeah,
Sean.
that's
Sean,
it.
Sean.
Yep.
I'm putting it in my brain. I'm just... Okay, I got it. So I'm going to keep Sean behind. So everybody else, we're going to spread out. Keep in mind, people are going to be passing through here. We're not going to film them. Don't go in between the vehicles. And I'm going to literally be following up with every one of you. This is probably going to take anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes. I do want to keep this location short out of just respect of the location. So again, start exploring, get the spirit boxes cranked up, and let's have some fun with this. All right, Sean.
Why is the mansion not here anymore? When was the date that it moved, or that it got knocked down?
It's funny, we just look like a wandering keyboard in a parking lot.
I know.
Are you asking it?
Yeah. Well, when was the year that the mansion was knocked down?
Eliza, technically.
And like what?
I said, hello, my name's Elizabeth.
Uh-huh.
So it's like Eliza.
Yeah.
And then I was like, my birthday's in May, and that's when you married your husband. And I was like, are you...
Here?
That's all. Yeah, like, are you here? But that's a yes-no question.
It's nothing yet.
Does this get cleared at any point? Like,
I don't know. Because the eye came up over at the barn.
I should pee so bad.
do you?
Is that bad if I ask?
No? There's like a million restaurants around.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, do you want
Oh, well, he said he's going to be making multiple stops along the way.
Yeah, I know, and I really want to be like, trying to like go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Poor Sean, he was like, can I have that one? No.
Oh, he wanted to switch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
So I feel like I don't know what I'm looking for.
I know.
Anything?
Huh?
Anything?
I'm hearing stuff, but it's not
Not
legible.
a,
I'm hearing music. I'm asking for a year.
say, can you give me a number?
Put a number. Okay, Eliza's taking a letter. I'm gonna ask her for a letter.
Can you give me a number?
First initial.
Or a year? Staring at me like, what is wrong with this guy?
I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking for.
I just walked over to that device, I got close, and it went off, and he just like stopped. He's like, no, it just went off. He goes, no, that was him walking towards me. Like, no, it wasn't.
Really?
Yeah.
So it would actually.
I was like, wow.
Oh.
Oh. I heard thunderstruck.
There's a wedding going on. Oh.
On this.
Oh. Who did? Meredith did? Meredith?
Yeah.
She just asked it.
What'd that go up to? 20? No!
Wait, stop.
Meredith, you have to eat. You're gonna go to eat. I'm going to eat.
Do it again. Go in front of that thing. You have to
Yeah,
tell
you
it.
were-
You have to tell it. You have to tell it to go in front of you.
What's the name?
Eliza?
Eliza.
Eliza.
Light it up again.
Eliza, show me blue. Oh. Eliza, show me blue.
Could it be something that you're standing over?
I just gotta chill, too.
How finicky is that? Like, does the wind affect it?
Maybe. I'm looking for a number. Awesome.
His thing's going off a lot.
His number said, showing, it said it went up to 20?
Yeah, it went up to 20.2.
Okay.
Good. Have you heard anything coming out of yours yet?
I'm hearing music,
Okay.
intermittent music. I heard come down today.
Okay. So you heard something. So it was probably not a relevant thing to the location. But again, it's very vague. Come down today doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
So but
I'm asking for a number or
Yeah.
a number or a year.
yeah, numbers and names usually don't lie. So normally when you guys have names and numbers coming through, I write down every one of them because it might mean something I don't even know about. So I just keep diving into it and see what's going on. You got anything coming out of yours?
I got the number 18.
18.
Does it mean this graph? Like sometimes it gets a little like red or
This thing is meant to try to scare people.
oh, I was curious if it meant something. Okay, that you get an E. I think this is anything. What's the location?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You keep saying E's.
Yeah, where
A
we're
lot of
going
E's.
next is
A lot of
where-
E's. A lot of D's. Didn't he see ELU? ELU. Yes.
Just to see if the rest of that
Right?
specific
Yes.
like that's actually a
Where's
letter.
Sean go?
So I want to see if the first name shows up. Somebody else's spirit box. I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
No, yeah.
So
This saves all of the letters that I get.
so where are you at right now? Is it full?
I'm on my second row full.
So whenever it gets full like that and you can't make anything out of it, take this big knob up here
Okay.
and turn it backwards until
Okay.
it clicks, and then back to 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So again, it kind of clears the slate, and that way
Okay.
it's not overwriting a form or jumble that we're like, what the hell is this? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So just every full line you get, just reset it. If you can't make anything out,
Okay.
and there's going to be certain areas where I'm going to say, I want you looking for these initials, I want you looking for this, because this device is still relatively new,
Okay.
and we're still toying with it. So
Sure,
you're kind
sure.
of my experiment of the night. You're my guinea pig.
That sounds really good.
What do you got now?
Eliza's not seems not to be replying to the questions I've been asking her.
Okay.
But I did hear radio chatter about football.
So you did your football.
I just heard University of South Carolina.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh.
So you did a football tournament. That's actually what I call bleed over. So we're still close to Big John's. So we could get bleed over from both locations. Once we leave this space, we probably won't hear anything from Big John or the Pinckney family again.
Okay.
So I want you specifically looking, we have a term that's showing up on another spirit box that is actually relevant to where we're going next. And I just want to see if you get the initials RI in the same order. I want it to be RI, not IR.
Okay.
So just look for RI and see if those actually pop up. I'm just very curious.
Okay.
Because that's something we've gotten in the past at the location, but we have a very specific name that showed up here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I just want to kind of see if
For the
it's
RI.
bleeding over because they know we're coming.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Because remember, I'm out here 7 nights a week. These
Yeah.
ghosts know who I am.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So my name shows up all the time. Like
Really?
it's not
Wow.
an uncommon thing to hear my name.
So the word's definitely not cool.
Not cool.
Definitely not cool. It's in 3 letters.
Okay.
And then the word first.
Oh. Interesting.
Getting just a lot of letters in this one spot.
Okay.
I turned this
I want to
into
get some numbers real quick and then kind of see where we're at.
I'm gonna go back to the entrance over there.
I'll come back. I'll videotape you. See if anything comes to you. I feel like I'm like the cameraman of the Ghostbusters show.
I love it. It's so sorry. Oh my god. Well, you said it. E-L-U.
Yeah.
And that was an H. Nova.
What did he say? Did you ask him?
Yeah, it's the maximum, but I honestly, like,
Oh, are we leaving?
You got anything, Liz? No. I got lyrics. I got University of South Carolina. I got Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Hit me with your best shot.
Yeah.
I'm actually calling this one because we actually have some decent things going on without a whole lot of negativity. So that's why I'm kind of cutting this one a little short. We actually have some good starter pieces. So I'm gonna wait for her to catch up.
She's in the zone.
She's in the zone. She's definitely in the
I'm getting a lot
zone.
of letters here.
What do you got?
A lot of E and V, H. I just got RQ. I'm gonna reset it.
Yeah, if you got nothing out of it, I'm good with that. So first off, we did get a 20.2 milligauss reading from Sean's device. So basically what that means, let me explain what those numbers are in relative terms. If you were to put Sean's device, by the way, those of you with cameras, if you want to stop them to give your hands up raised.
but it changed.
Okay. And we were chatting, so you probably weren't listening in too
No.
attentively. You got anything?
I was intermittent listening.
Okay, fair enough. So again, if tours start to come through here, this is a very staple, it's a big staple for ghost tours. We're just going to split the seas and let them pass through. I always stop at this gate because I don't think any other tour knows why this gate is even here, which I'm going to explain at the end. So, we're in Philadelphia Alley. I need to catch my breath. You had me talking really fast. So he's asking me about other places I've been to, and I'm like, wait a minute, I got a lot to spit off here, man.
See anything?
This used to be where some of the duels took place for the city of Charleston. Because remember that dueling was pretty much illegal, 1700s. So again, they always had to find spots. So if you get another tour guide that said this is where all of the duels took place, they're lying to you. Again, they had to find their spot of where basically they wouldn't get caught. We all tell the same story down here because we can prove that the duel actually happened, and we actually get quite a bit of evidence from this location. So let's go through the story. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. I want specifically you to be looking for the initials RI, just like I did back at the other location. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So Dr. Ladd, by the way, did I give you his full name? Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. His full name has shown up here in the past for us.
Wow.
So, yeah, very cool stuff. So if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. That's part of the name. So kind of keep that as we're going through this. Because that's something we actually caught here quite a few times. But anyway, to prove that he's not after Amanda's money, he comes to Charleston. And the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by, somebody who lived here a long time, and his name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from, Rhode Island. So again, the letters RI have been showing up at this location even before I had the Ouija board device. They were coming up on other spirit boxes. It was the strangest thing, especially the word list that Stephanie's using. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind, but we need the secondary clues so we know who it belongs to. Anyway, Ralph Isaacs tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you and take all your money, but you can go rent a room from some friends of mine at 59 Church Street. What do you have?
I just got the name George. Isn't that?
Yeah. When did you get it? Just here?
Just now.
Just now. Okay.
And pencil. Was somebody an artist or
A writer?
or a writer?
Writer, that wouldn't be coming up over here.
Okay.
But George did.
But George is very interesting because, again, we're pretty far away from the Pinckney Mansion site, but his father's buried on the other side of this wall.
Oh.
So I will tell you that much.
Okay.
So again, somewhat relevant. I need a little bit more to be proof. Again, normally a name, I'm like, ooh, yeah, but yeah, we're kind of in a weird in-between spot. We're in between the veil, everybody. We got to fix that. So where was I? Dr. Ladd, right?
Yes.
Then
Get rid of him.
RI.
And she like went to stay somewhere.
oh yeah, you can stay with some friends of mine at 59 Church Street. Keep that number in the back of your head because it does show up here a lot. Dr. Ladd takes him up on the offer, and the two become friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. So Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can get married. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Now, our claims that you can hear whistles as you walk through this alley, but we're going to talk more about that later. And every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future has a whistling ghost. I'm going to put my paycheck on it right now. So again, it's very cliche, but there is actual proof of this one, and I have some. But anyway, back to Ralph and the doctor. They go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. So they talk about these plays on the way home. And one night they go see Richard III, and they're arguing over the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought the new actress was fantastic. Ralph, not so much. The argument gets very heated when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. They go their separate ways. Told you Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality.
Wow.
Dr. Ladd sees the ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Diller's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel, by the way. Ralph, however, has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd drops to the ground. His friends pick him up, carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies either 10 or 4 days later, depending on which version of the story you're reading. Now, the interesting thing is that he refused medical treatment. This guy's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed this out himself. So,
Isn't he supposed to stop the bleeding and not let it bleed out?
yeah, but with a bullet wound, you have to remember, this is 1786, so it wasn't bullets like what we have now. So when you get lead in you, it's lead poisoning. You have to bleed to get the poison of the lead out. So it's bleeding it out is basically what they would do for you. So at the campfire marshmallow part of this is that as you walk through the alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. Do you guys hear how quiet it is?
Yeah.
It's Saturday night. It's like this on a Saturday afternoon too. So unless the air conditioners pick up on one of these two buildings right here. So I urge you to, and keep in mind, I'm also going to tell you I've been kicked out of this alley. So I'm going to explain that in a second. And when you're walking through the alley, turn on your voice recorders from your phone. Now keep in mind, I have a voice recorder running for you right now, but every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Queen Street or Cumberland is going to throw a whistle down the alley. I do it every night. So when we're done, I have to pass this alley to get back to my garage. We passed it. It's right behind that little convenience store. So I have to pass the alley no matter where I end. I do it every single night. So keep in mind, it's not going to be an obvious. It's going to sound very faint and in the background. I told you guys that I've been kicked out of here. Let's get to that because that actually makes sense of why we're going to where we're going next. This alley didn't always come all the way through on this side because this is where they held the livestock for the city of Charleston. So your cows, your chickens, your pigs, all of that was in here. So it was blocked off on one end. That means those bricks down there on the other side are older than the bricks we're standing on now. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint and fingerprint swipes at the end of the alley. And I'd always point it out because it's part of our history. I don't care about the diversity of my group. We all need to see it to show how far we've come from slavery. I'm sure you guys all picked up I'm about history, like, right? So we're not allowed to go down that far, and I wasn't aware of it. And I took my whole group down there, and I was trying to shoo them along. Everybody wants to try to get a reading out of that brick. I already told you I don't like hanging out in cemeteries because I don't get much activity. Well, guess what? That kid's not hanging around that brick in the afterlife. So I'm trying to shoo the team along. I had a full team. It's November 26th of 2020, by the way. I know the exact date for a reason. I'm shooing them along because it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. It's neighborhood. We're not allowed there. So he comes running out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at. She was on the tour that night. And the next day was Thanksgiving. I didn't have a tour. I worked in retail management for over 20 years. I'm never working Thanksgiving again. Ever. Walmart for many of those years, by the way. Put that in the back of your brain. So the next day was November 28th of 2020. I get a phone call asking me to go down halfway or reroute my tour altogether. I decided it wasn't fair for my groups of 10 to try to work around 20 to 60 other people in here instead of just passing through quietly. So I told the story and I told my team, I'm going to reroute the tour, but I am not a big pirate person. I don't even believe the story I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to go through it because it is a Charleston staple. We're going to see what happens. Before we left, somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them that we were going to be investigating the famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I'm like, all right, maybe we are going to get something. We get down there. I told what little bit I did know about piracy, and somebody else hears the number 300 on another spirit box. I don't know what it means in real time. I'm doing the research for them the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720.
Dude.
So
That's wild.
I keep taking you guys there night after night, and it is going to remain in my tour because I've read more damn books on piracy than I ever wanted to in my life. And you should be thankful I have a master's degree in creative writing because trying to put together a factual investigation on pirate lore is very difficult. Everything we're going to discuss at the next location came from a minimum of 2 resources. So every line I'm about to spout off to you later on at the next stop is, again, it's as much factual data that I can possibly muster. Now we're going to spread out in that location once we get up there and go through the history, kind of like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion site. But the gate behind me before we leave the space. Remember that the alley didn't always go all the way through. I told you there's a cemetery right there. In the event there was a loser to the duel, this was a shortcut to get to the cemetery. Otherwise, you'd have to go all the way down to Queen Street. You see how long it is. And then back down around to go drop off the dead body before they go celebrate the winner with a pint. So I call this the Death Gate. The wrought iron was not here. This wrought iron is probably early 1900s, if I'm guessing. But obviously the opening is still legit. So as we kind of go through up to the next location, again, very popular corner up there. I know it looks like I'm a liar down here because we got the whole damn alley to ourselves. But I'm going to choose our spot for us, and we're just going to stay out of the way of the other tourists. Remember, they're telling stories and moving on. You guys are going to be spreading out and investigating. So, any other major questions about dueling that I might be able to answer? We do capture a lot of orbs down here, so it's a good thing you're recording.
Okay.
All right, anything weird that you guys may have heard while we've been standing here, or were you totally focused on me? Which is perfectly fine, because most of your stuff is recording anyway.
I was focused on you.
Yeah,
so.
I can tell.
Other than scream, we heard before he told us stories about this.
Gotcha. And is yours still recording? Yes, you're good to go.
Did
All
you
right.
hear something,
So as far as
What was his
any
name?
other,
Something Brown.
yeah, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd.
And there's that song from Charlie Brown, like the video.
Yeah, I heard the
Okay.
theme song from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
But did you hear Charlie Brown?
No,
No.
Okay.
theme song.
Just a song.
Yeah.
I like where the thinking's going, but that's too big of a stretch for me.
Okay.
So, because that would have been Vincent Guaraldi who wrote that. And again, it's not anything that would have come up as far as somebody from 1786 knowing who the hell Charlie Brown is. So, let's go learn about some pirates, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to head up this way. We're going to go right back out the way we came in, so I don't get caught again.
sick.
This is fun.
Yeah, we got
I love this shit.
Yeah.
This is so fun.
Yeah, it's just weird. I'm not
Arr.
seeing any tours out tonight, so apparently you guys were the big party of the night. I must be the only guy working. It's fine with me. By the way, in case any of you are wondering, because some of you looked at me kind of funny when I said master's degree in creative writing, like, I have a lot of degrees. Like, this is my normal job. Like, this is what I do for a living. So I get asked all the
Cool
time,
job.
like, what's your, where do you work during the daytime? I'm like, I own this business. Like, I can't answer your text while I'm working at Walmart. You know what I mean? I can't be doing that. But yeah, I do have a bachelor's in English, a bachelor's in journalism, a master's in creative writing, and I just started my master's in history.
Wow.
So I'm a very busy guy. And yes, I'm published. You guys are going to see all of that stuff on my website tomorrow. So now that I got this self-promotion questions out of the way, and I don't like to normally bring that, but you guys were already starting to poke those questions. So I was like, let me just get them all out of the way. So where the heck are we? We're at the Gunpowder Magazine. That's the little tiny building over there. Now, this is what I call a familiar ghost. So the reason why I bring this over here, do you guys see the crosses, by the way?
Yeah.
Those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. So if you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, I told you about the big earthquake we had in 1886, right? So earthquake bolts are turnbuckles. They go all the way through the roof or the floor, and even the apartment building behind them has it, but they're newer. So if we have another earthquake, which we haven't, you can turn those turnbuckles and it'll tighten the building back up so it doesn't incur any further damage.
That's
Now,
cool.
it's a great idea, right? It just doesn't work. Talk to any Californian. They will laugh their ass off at you if you start telling them about earthquake bolts because they know it doesn't work. Now, the reason why I bring those ones up specifically is because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713, which is exactly why we're here. It's a familiar building to when Anne Bonny was in this area. Again, it's like using a toy to attract a child first. It's the same mentality. Now keep in mind, this is a hit or miss location. We're going to know, after I'm done telling you the history, based on what's going on with your devices, within 5 minutes if we have Anne Bonny or not. Again, this is just, it's a great story, so we're going to buckle up and let's see what happens. 1708, follow me, there's a lot of twists in this story. Young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She moves here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you with me so far? I know, right? The three of them are running away from Anne's father's angry wife. Yeah, you guys
Anne's
got that one
father's
now?
angry
See why I
wife.
slowed down? Yeah, there's a lot of twists. So, they move here from Ireland to the Georgetown area. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, if you're unfamiliar. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he has to send young Anne down here to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Now, Anne back home in Ireland, kind of a badass. They say she actually killed one of her servants when she was 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, this is pirate lore, with a knife to the belly.
Oh my
So again,
God.
knife and belly have shown up here in the past, just so you guys know. But I like to put that mentality of her as we kind of go through her history. Let's fast forward. The building's done in 1713. It's familiar to her, and pirates are coming through town in 1715, a few years later. Anne is about 16, 17 years old at this point. So she's going to fall in love because she wants to earn her freedom, just like a man, because it's a man's world at this point. Guy number one. Yes, I said number one. There's a handful. We're going to go through them. Guy number one is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Dad didn't approve. Filthy pirate. They go to Jamaica, get married. Anne Cormack is now Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. However, James Bonny is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. That's not who she was. So a few years later, she falls in love again. John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is literally the person they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of. So this is the guy she's looking for, right? So he has his own ship. She wants to be part of it. Can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why?
Bad luck.
Right. Good job, man. Bad luck. So thank you for keeping it family friendly. Got a lot of answers out of that one. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and hide your gender, you can be part of the crew, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. She's good with it. She knows it's a man's world. Let's do this. Let's put two and two together. She's being a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female and that Jack let her on the ship. So he drops her off in Cuba before she starts to show her pregnancy. Have the baby over here. These are friends of mine. They'll help you out. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. No amount of research that I've done can find any specific answers. The significant part of the story, though, is that she comes back dressed as a female, and Jack realizes that she came back dressed as a female, and it pisses him off pretty badly. While she was away giving birth to his child, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. To make Jack even more mad, she's going to go flirting with that pirate crew because that's who Anne Bonny is. We're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship. This young lady's name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure. However, the British find out where they are. They send an entire fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Rumor has it that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that came up and fight because the other ones were too drunk to come up and blow up the cannons. Now, Anne and Mary only have one. They had flintlocks. It's 1 bullet at a time, guys. So they're not going to take on a whole fleet of ships, right? So they get arrested, the whole pirate ship. And as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The dog thing shows up here a lot, just so you know. Now, the judge, his name is Nicholas as well. So if you hear my name, there's actually 3 Nicholases relevant in this area, so we need to tie clues together. But he wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight, so they're dead and gone 2 days prior. Anne and Mary go in front. They reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. And he doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they shouted, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he says fine. Sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina. He bails out Anne with his Irish money because he was an attorney back home. She comes home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed because we don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt. Why? Because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. There's a lot of rumors that go around, and we don't even know where she really lived or where she's buried. There's a lot of memorials around, but Mary Reed, what happened to her? A year later, she died in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will say it was fever. I'm going to call bullshit and say it was probably very scurvous and nasty and gross. So use your own imagination. Make it romantic for yourselves, everybody. 2 things I left out of here. I'm not going to give you a whole plethora of questions because you guys pretty much don't know what you're doing by now, right? So 2 things I left out on purpose. The names of Anne Bonny's parents. That's her father and his mistress. I did not tell you what those names were. Use those on your spirit box. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship that Anne was part of. So that's a very weird one. So Sean, with your device, you will be using the motion device in this location. So you're going to turn on that little white button. The closer you get to the bushes up there, you're going to start getting numbers. Ignore them. They're coming from the parking meters and the electrical poles in the corners. You're going to be asking Anne Bonny what her hair color is, and hopefully she's going to show you. It is red. I'm just going to point that out. And the only way for her to show you is for her to touch that antenna. It's the only time I've ever gotten a direct red out of that device has been in this location.
Wow.
So, again, we're going to know within 5 minutes of what you guys are telling me, of if we have Anne Bonny. If not, we're going to head over to Washington Park and look at that author/poet. So, let's get those spirit boxes cranked up. You got anything going on with yours?
I got an A.
You have a B after it?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Turn up the sensitivity all the way.
What are you
This
gonna
is so
ask
cool.
it? Ask her.
I think I know the ship.
Well, that's cheating.
I think I know the ship's name.
What?
The Revenge. Because actually, no, because
You got an AB?
Yeah.
You get an AB.
Wow.
This pirate girl got an AB from Anne.
Well,
wow.
let's see if we can
She knows you're a mariner.
see if we can get Mary Reed's name out of it. That would be MR.
MR. Okay. MR. Oh, that'd be cool.
So what do you think, man? That camera's pretty badass, isn't it?
Or
Oh, that's so cool. H.
I watched it on a hard.
You have to ask questions.
So,
Let's go over there. That looks creepy over there.
Hi. H-I.
Hi. Hit. Was she hit? Probably.
Oh, you got blue light. Is that what that means?
What?
I got AB shit.
what?
What does that mean?
AB what?
A. Look at AB and then shit. AE.
You got shit.
Shit. I don't know if that
That's
means
crazy.
something. Yeah. AB. Wow.
That's cool. Are you asking questions?
Huh?
You have to ask questions.
I don't know. I don't want to. I have like yes or no questions, but I don't want to. What was the name of the ship?
That you hid as a boy.
I'm hearing stuff.
That's good.
All right, what's coming up with you guys? Anything that you can see in real time?
No, nothing yet.
And just like I was just telling Jason, I don't always follow up with the cameras in real time because then it's not always a real time find with those. The screens are too damn small.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I watch them on a large computer screen.
Okay.
So if I'm not talking to you as much as I am everybody else, it's not that I'm avoiding
No,
it.
no, yeah.
You have a very tiny screen.
Yeah.
And and it does create, that's coming out in HD. You're going to see how clear it comes out for you
Wow.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Like, it's beautiful.
Nice.
What comes up on yours? Anything?
I'm still getting. I heard 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
You know, I actually heard something too. I heard 23, the number 23.
I'm asking what was Anne Bonnet's ship name called?
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Because we have a Steve Bonnet pirate in town.
Oh. Okay.
And then there's an Anne Bonny.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Okay.
Like the female name Bonnie.
Yeah.
It's just spelled with a Y instead of an IE.
Oh. Okay.
But we also have a Steve Bonnet. So if you've been on another tour and they talked about Steve Bonnet because he is the gentleman pirate from Charleston, then that's probably where you got the names confused.
Yeah, I think I got the names. I wasn't on another tour, but I just I've researched pirates and stuff like that.
So is it normal for this thing to
The word justice.
freak out?
Yes.
And then the name Tom.
Tom.
Yeah, I heard the name John.
You got John?
Yeah.
Tom, John, Justice. Not the word justice here. Yeah, what do you got?
Really? You see that cat?
Yeah.
This thing's just going berserk.
Yeah. Oh.
Did not stop. And I'm resetting it too.
Yeah.
I heard someone mention boat. Like, boat? Yeah.
Yep. It's common to get those kind of seafarer terms.
Nice.
I actually had sea and dog show up at the same time too. Like, it was really cool because somebody heard, because at first I thought the dog quote from Anne Bonny, but then somebody said, I heard sea, and I'm like, sea dogs? Like, no way! Like, I was more excited about sea dogs than I were just the word dog.
Where in New England? You said you're from New England?
From Ohio.
You're? What part?
No.
My fiance's from Van Wert. I don't know if that's close or not. It's kind of like deep.
Oh.
I was there last week.
What?
Oh wait, it's spelled my initials. M-E-R.
What?
My friends call me
No,
that.
I'm just
Does that
listening.
mean anything?
Oh, what are you looking at?
Yeah, Meredith.
The name of the
They
ship.
call me Mare.
Yeah.
Why?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh. Well, he'll tell you soon.
All right, let's head over to the wall.
Okay.
Corey, look.
M-E-R.
Getting make him stand all day.
M-E-R.
Mare.
Yeah, but he said Mary Reed.
Oh,
As a
Maybe had a
mare.
middle name.
Whoa.
V. M-E. Wait.
All right. So, I'm excited about his motion sensor just going absolutely berserk. So, again, that thing has been going nuts since he turned it on. So, it doesn't normally do that in this location. So, I definitely want to be focused on the recording of the spirit box. So, to kind of see what else is going on with it. We did get the word justice, and remember that the judge that tried Anne Bonny and Mary Reed was a Chief Justice. So, again, I'm going to be looking for the name Nicholas, or his last name was Laws. Very ironically, he was a Chief Justice and his last name is Laws. So I'll be looking for either one of those. We did get Anne Bonny's initials on the Ouija board, like right away, so we got an A-B, and they were separated, so it went through the alphabet at least once to get back to the second B. So that was kind of exciting, and then the word shit came up. That's really cool.
That's, yeah.
That's something.
That came up on the box.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think I heard someone say like Anne Boleyn or something.
Oh, well that's like, that would be Queen Anne Boleyn, but you
yeah.
still get the name Anne.
Does Abby mean anything?
No.
Okay.
Going to the name John that was heard, who heard the name John? So I will tell you that your 7th Vice President, John Calhoun, is buried on the other side of that wall. During the month of March, we will get a lot of things, and I talk about him more in March because he was born in March and he died in March. And there's 2 different sides to that cemetery. The reason why he's on that specific side is because he's not a native to Charleston, which means he wasn't born here. They actually shuffled his sarcophagus back and forth trying to figure out where he was supposed to go. Turns out he's not from here. So he's actually on that side of the cemetery. Anybody get any numbers here specifically?
1 and 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so I
also
got that.
102.
Yeah, so I kind of look at things like that with dates. So I'm going to see if there's a January 2nd or 10/2, maybe October 2nd. I have to think outside the box. But the reason I'm asking for numbers here is because we often hear the number 7 between Philadelphia Alley to here. A couple of reasons why. If we get doubles of it, say 7/7, that's Dr. Ladd's birthday, July 7th. Happens all the time.
Wow.
The other piece is John Calhoun, 7th Vice President. So we get it over here for that. The Powder Magazine serves 7 different wars. So again, we get the number 7 here quite often. Again, none of you told me the number 7 tonight, but we do have October 2nd, which
Heard a song.
That song 7 summers ago, Morgan Wallen keeps popping up.
7 summers ago,
Yeah. That's the song.
we have our number 7.
I didn't think that was it.
See? That's why you got to tell me every little
Sorry.
thing. And she heard the name Anne Boleyn. We don't need the Boleyn. We have Anne. Not to mention, Anne Boleyn is the same initials as Anne Bonny.
And wasn't
Right.
the ship name Anne Boleyn or something? Like,
No, that was a queen.
oh, no, okay. Yeah.
7 summers is what I'm going to write down.
Morgan
So,
Wallen.
if you hear the song Drop It Like It's Hot, it might mean that there was a fire at this location. Again,
Yeah.
it happens.
So funny.
So if you get, that's how we actually learned about the Great Fire that took out the Pinckney Mansion. Somebody heard Drop It Like It's Hot, we had 12, 11, and 61. It was all together.
Wow.
So again, that's how we learn about this stuff. That George Washington bit that came up twice in the same week. And I'm like, I didn't even know that he was a pallbearer at Eliza's funeral. It's just shit that I learned from the tours. This isn't stuff that Charleston says I have to teach you. This is what I get from the tours.
That's
so let's
cool.
go through the quick answers of the Anne Bonny questions, and then we will go learn about Henry Timber.
Mop. Does Mop mean anything?
I'm just surprised that we only have the 1/7, so it could be relative. We did get the name John, so we do have a tie, but I'm going to see if there's something else in that 20 or 102. There's something weird there with that 10-2. That's ringing a bell for some reason.
I got 1 and 2, and you got 102.
Right. But I'm looking at it as October 12th, or October 2nd. And I want to say, because Charles Pinckney, the husband, and the nephew are both buried across the street. And I want to say that the nephew was either born or died on October 2nd.
What about January 2nd? Is that anything?
And January usually doesn't ring a bell for me.
Okay.
Because I do keep track of all of these dates at the top of your data page. So again, I have to run through a lot of things when I'm putting these data pages together for you. But yeah, January doesn't really ring a bell. Anne Bonny. Let's get to these quick answers. Where's her picture at? By the way, this is one of the few pictures you can find of her with a shirt on. The reason why is because she used to bare her breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. Told you, this chick was badass.
Yes. I got an RI now.
In RI now,
Yeah.
and we're still close to Philadelphia Alley.
Yeah.
Bleed over, folks. This is what I'm talking about. These are all the little things that I have to look at. We don't have anything relative to Philadelphia besides the RI, but again, I don't know what she's missing on her spirit box recording.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be able to find in the morning.
Okay.
So, The names of her parents: William Cormack, Mary Brennan. You can probably turn that off now.
Okay, cool.
You guys were not expecting a secondary Mary, because remember we have Mary Reed from the ship. Mom was Mary Brennan. So again, we also got M.E.R. that showed up on the Envoy, and I'm not sure if that's
Mayor?
Yeah, who's holding it, but I don't know if Mary Reed had a middle initial. So I'll have to dive into that. I also like to show you what Calico Jack looked like. The reason why is because this is what they based Johnny Depp's character off of. Calico Jack, of course, the picture, the color goes out every time I tap that button. He's called that because of the jackets that he wore. They came from the British captains that he killed. Now, Calico Jack's father was a tailor, so textiles were very important to them. Now, Calico Jack, fancy jacket. It's basically where the name comes from. The name of his ship was called the Kingston. I don't expect Kingston to actually pop through on the Red Spirit boxes of yours, Connor, but I would expect it out of yours. Yours likes to pick up more disembodied voices. The second night we used your device, I'm packing things up here, because remember this used to be my grand finale, and he hands it back to me, and it says, Pirate, plain as day. We all heard it, but it doesn't record. Luckily, they were standing next to the person with the thermal imaging camera, and we have the audio from that. And it was a dead night. Like, we didn't have much going on. So it was kind of like a, hooray! Finally something happened! But yeah, again, your device, and it definitely was not radio chatter. It was just a simple statement of, pirate. I'm like, no shit. Now it's going to happen at the end?
Wow.
Go figure.
I have to mention something. I don't know for sure if I heard it correctly. I think I heard someone say, I killed her.
I killed her? I'll take it.
Wow.
You know what's funny is a brown-eyed girl over there, girls just want to have fun. We hear that one here all the time.
Really?
One of my most fun things that I've ever heard at this location, which was really what convinced me, is I had two DJs talking, two female DJs. They were laughing their asses off, and they go, they think we're guys. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Here's another reason why I give that heated warning at the beginning. I'm sorry, I missed. What was the phrase you had?
I killed her.
I killed her. Thank you. So I would normally tell this before we spread out. Now, one of the reasons why I give that heated warning at the top of the tour, besides the 214 milligals that I had over at the Pinckney Mansion, one night I brought my team here. It was about a year ago, September. We go to the back, stay out of everybody's way, and before I can even get started, the kid next to me, he goes white as a ghost, and he starts to drop. Like, I had to pick him up by his armpit to be able to keep him from hitting his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him. We brought him over to this wall, got him up out of the water, he was feeling better, and I then told the story that I told you guys. They didn't know anything yet. I spread everybody out to go have fun at the last stop. You know, that's what this was. So they go have fun, but they, the two guys, they pull me aside. They tell me, we are two transgender males. Meaning I had two females dressed as males on my tour, just like Ann and Mary from the story.
Yeah. Oh my
And it made complete sense to us as to why one of them passed out. I mean, it was the minute we entered the space. This kid was going to the ground. So take that for what it's worth. This is the weird shit I see that I can't explain.
Whoa.
I can't explain it. It's just one of those pieces.
Wow.
All right, cameras, go ahead and give your hands a break. We're going to be walking. This is a location with many monuments, and I had no idea what we were going to find the first night here. It was a very cold night, and I only had two people, and I said, this is my experimental. We're going to see what happens. We got this gentleman's name that showed up. This is Henry Timrod. We had the name Henry show up and the name Tim. So Timrod being his last name as one word. But we did get Henry and Tim and the year he was born, specifically 1829, in the same evening. So I was very stoked when I put all of those pieces together and went, holy snap, that's a great story, because I actually knew what it was. So this story is normally told at the Charleston Library Society, because that's where this author's collection sits. It is actually up on King Street, and it's about a block from here, catty corner. So it's weird that we're getting relative things to him here, but I'm going to continue with it anyway. So here's what I know about the man. He's a Charleston native. He was a poet, and he was very sick. That has shown up in the past. But the weird thing about Mr. Timrod's death is he was actually in Columbia at a friend of his house so he could have some seclusion after, obviously, the big tragedy of his son's death. He was 38 years old, and he writes his last words at the desk. And it says, beholder of brief mortality, meaning person with short life. And then he coughs on the page. And the cough lands on there in a phlegm of blood. And it basically lands in a form of a person writing. They show this book one time a year at the Charleston Library Society. It is called The Blood Book. And the day that they show it, who wants to guess? Come on, guys, it's The Blood Book. Halloween. I know, it's very obvious. And you're like, oh, yeah. So, what I like to do is at least show you what that blood splatter page looked like. And then I actually like to read the last stanza of his poem called Charleston, because it kind of makes sense of what we're actually doing out here. And not to mention, it hopefully will stir some things up for us to be able to capture more. This is the last page that he wrote.
Whoa. That's the blood spot.
This is the blood spot, and it looks like a man writing.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So this last stanza like really stood out, and we actually had a very specific term come out of it last night on one of the spirit boxes, which I found very cool because it is a very specific term. So it reads, "We know not in the temple of the face, God has inscribed her doom, and all untroubled in her faith she waits the triumph or the tomb." We had the word tomb show up last night and the word God in this location.
Wow.
So that was written in 1862. So he actually died in 68. So that was 6 years before his death. And that was actually his poem entitled Charleston. The poem is very, just so you know, like it is very lengthy. But when I read the last stanza, I'm like, oh, that's really kind of dark and creepy to read at a ghost town. So we're going to do it, and hopefully it stirs things up. I will tell you that his wife's name has shown up in here in this location twice now. I'm not going to tell you what that is. So for those of you with spirit, keep in mind, people do stare at us funny because we're the weirdos. If you were wondering where the weirdos are at tonight, look around. Here are them. So that's kind of how this goes. So we're going to see what happens within the next 10 minutes. We'll regroup. I'll tell you what tomorrow looks like, and we'll see what's going to happen from there.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.
You want to use that one for the last time?
Sure.
Yeah. I got like an orb going right here. Oh, that's just the reflection of the light. I got an orb going, like, oh, that's the light.
Yeah.
I'm still reading about them. So it's a matter of like, I'm still learning. I'm waiting for you guys to teach me more. Give me all the weird stuff.
All right.
This is one of those places where
This is so neat.
Oh, thanks.
So neat. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's my design.
Check this thing out. It's pretty sweet. I'm like,
So
wait,
what is it doing? It's like
it's like an infrared. It's looking for.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I freaked out a little bit because I was looking at the light. I was like, oh, what is that? But it's just a reflection of the light.
Oh, okay.
Debunked it pretty fast. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Anybody want to come out and say hi? Hearing anything?
Huh?
You hear anything?
Yeah, but like not like.
Well, it's not gonna be like clear.
I know, but it's hard.
Yeah. Like I heard like lyrics. I heard 1 and 2 or.
Like, tell me your wife's name. So what's your wife?
There has been on many occasions seen a young lady in a white dress, long flowing blonde hair, seen standing on that balcony late at night. Before I get to the story, though, I'd like to ask,
He's going.
I would like to share a story.
Nothing. I looked at that balcony up there. Looks like someone would be hanging out up there.
What?
Looks like somebody could be hanging out up there.
You would have been about it.
Oh, we're done after this.
Find a restaurant. There he is.
It's a little too far back, I think it's Sparta Days, the chariot.
Seen anything?
Not yet.
Yeah.
He said on a small screen you might not be able to see anything until he blows it up on a big screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this camera is picking up, like, I'm trying to look for the little orbs or anything, or...
Is it this Elizabeth?
I don't know, what was Jackson's mother's name?
Elizabeth.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elizabeth.
Mother of Andrew Jackson.
We got an R and a J.
You hearing anything, Courtney?
Then we definitely
No.
have something. You don't got anything out of it?
Not really.
Okay. Alright, we're going to pull over to the bench. Alright guys, come on over.
I love the, like the lights, the candle lights.
Yeah.
I love that.
You never know what's actually going to pop up out of it. The word execution is a good possibility too. I can't say for sure, but they're thinking that there were executions that were actually held nearby here, like either right outside the square or inside the square. So I'm definitely going to dive into the word execution.
And initials AU.
to the space where you guys are teaching me.
Okay, so you see that monument right there?